So hi guys, today we will be looking at cats versus dogs dataset. It is a very famous dataset from Kaggle and which contains around 25,000 images, which is used for training a model to detect the difference between a cat and dog. So basically this is the notebook. We would be using more sophisticated images with convolutional neural networks. We will be following three steps. We would be exploring the data set. We would build and train a neural network to recognize difference between two, and then evaluate the training and validation accuracy as usual. So first we will be downloading it. So coming to the data set, the 2000 data images used in are from the Kaggle dataset that is available on Kaggle website, and you can learn more about it by going here and seeing the dataset description. You can go to overview and you will realize that yeah, this is a very famous dataset. So it contains about 25,000 images. Here we would be using a subset of the full dataset to decrease training time for educational purposes. Now I would be coming here down, and now we would be allocating the libraries location and all as usual we did last time. We would be telling where the data should be stored, and now here at the last we will be defining the four directories. As you can see, training directory, validation directory, then training cats, training dogs, then validation cats, validation dogs. Yeah. So now we will look at the file names in the cats and training what they all look like. So I will be printing two of these. So they look like that. Cat.16 jpg, cat.811 jpg. They are named like this in the training and validation directory. Okay, now we would be finding out how many images are there in both the directories. So the training images of cats and dog are both 1000 and the validation are 500. So around we are training the model on 2000 images, 1000 each of cat and dog. So for now let's take a look at few pictures to get a better sense of what the cat and dog dataset look like. So first we will be configuring a matplot parameters. We would be telling that import matplot image.this, and then we would be assigning it. Okay, and now we will be displaying a batch of 8 cat and 8 dogs picture. You can return the cell to see the fresh batch each time. So yeah, I have declared this cell where I have put up the numbers that I already set up in the last cell, where sp equals to subplot this. So I would, as soon as I would be running this, you would get the, so actually this is just part to explore the dataset. This is not a necessary step. You can, or you not may not, it's totally on your choice. So this is, you can see cats and dogs both are there. Every time you would run it, the different data can be present there. So you can run it as many times as you want to get the different data. And just make sure that you are connected to GPU. Like right now I have not connected to GPU, so I would get connected to it, and I would run all the cells from beginning to make sure that things go fast. Okay, and now we would be building a small model from scratch to get accuracy near 72%. So yeah, so this is a model, and we would be defining the model like this. I told you last time we would be putting the layers, then we would be putting input shape, then max pooling, convolutional 2D layer, activation function ReLU, and then flatten to see results feed into DNN, and then we would be printing the model.summary. So this would be showing that okay, our model is like this. You can see there are so many layers to make a model get super trained while we are training it. So now next we will be configuring this. So if you are not into loss metrics, you can learn that from a machine learning crash course on Google website. And in this we are using RMS prop optimization is preferable to statistic gradient descent, because RMS automates learning tuning for us, but can also be automatically adapt. So if you want to use Adam or AdaGrad like this is just like last time, you are totally free to use. It's not going to be a big problem. So yeah, I have put that. Now we would be doing data processing like we did last time, because we want all our images to be between 0 and 1 value. So again we would be writing image data generator rescale 1 divided 255. and we would be putting train data gen flow, where we are deciding the batch size to be 20. Class mode binary, binary because we are differentiating between two state sets, that is cats and dogs, and we would be running it this. Oh, okay, I guess we need to run the whole cells again. So I would just, what I would do, restart and run all cells in notebook. This will make sure that all the cells are run in the notebook once again. So yeah, so what this code is basically doing, it is giving me a target size of 150 to 150 images and a binary class mode. Yeah, so we have got 2000 images belonging to two classes and 1000 belonging to two classes. The above is for training, the below is for validation. Yeah. Now coming down to the training part, so let's train on all 2000 images available for 15 epochs and validate on all 1000 test images. So you will see the 4 epochs per value: loss, accuracy, validation, loss, and validation accuracy. So the loss and accuracy are a great indicator of progress. It's making a guess as to classification of the training data and then measuring it against it. So yeah, this model can take a lot more time than expected to get trained. So after the model has got trained on, we would be running the model to see how is it performing, and then at last visualizing interpretation. So now one thing that is clear, that when you are doing image data generator, when you go to Keras API and you write image data generator, you will find a lot of functions being there. So if I go to image data generator, you would find that there are a lot of things in image data generator, like you can see zoom, range, channel shift, fill mode, nearest. So I would be telling you what all these things are. Suppose I want my image to be seen by horizontal flip, I want the model to learn my image if it is in a vertical flip. Because just imagine if I tell my model that please tell me what image this is, and I give it a tilted image of a cat, how would the model be able to predict that? So at that time these two come into role, but for now I haven't mentioned them because this is a very simple model, and it's totally fine if even if you don't train it so much. But in future models where you want the accuracy to go high, you would be doing that. So even here you can see I haven't defined verbose equals to 1. That is the reason the line is not being shown here, the animation line. I have put verbose equals to 2. So you can see the value, the accuracy on the training data set is pretty high, 98.6%, but the validation accuracy is pretty low, that is 71% around. So yeah, means it's not that bad, but yeah, we are doing directly on brute force method, that is only on the default methods. So expecting this is common. So we have got around 72% accuracy on uh, the validation accuracy and 99.35 accuracy on training dataset. So now we would be running the model. So you can go to any image here and you can type cat images, and I would be directly using the cat images from here. I would be importing that image here, and then you can test the value. I would be doing just in front of you. So I would be putting it as cat, and then I would be choosing files. Yeah, so I will be putting cat here, and let's see what's the result are going to be. Okay, so yeah, so it has been showing it's a dog. So this shows that the accuracy of the model is very low, that is only 72% chances that it is going to tell us twice. So in the next video I will be showing you how you can increase this accuracy and make sure the image you put is shown correctly. So now we would pick a randomly image from the training set and then generate a figure where each row is the output of a layer. So here I would go down here, and the graph is like that. You can see that the raw pixels of the image to increasingly abstract and comprehend compact representations. So you can get a lot of things from here. The training accuracy is shown, that that every time you are increasing the max pooling lot layer, you would be able to see that the image is being judged more nicely by the image data generator. So now I would come here and I would be plotting the graph, So you can see the loss function and the training and validation accuracy are like that okay, training is totally fine, it's going 99,999, but validation is pretty low. Same about the loss function. In training it's pretty low, but in validation it's pretty high. So this is like overfitting. Means you are in overfitting. What happens, that model starts learning what you have given. It start feeding up with what the data you have given. Means you can understand like that you have given a cat image, the model will start grabbing up that okay, this is a cat, nothing else can be a cat, expect that. It doesn't focus on the elements, but it focus on the image. So this is known as overfitting. So in the next video would we would be concerned about overfitting and solving this problem, that how we can avoid overfitting. So hope you have enjoyed the video. Thank you and have a nice day.